Look at the chairs filled over here. Round of applause. Yay! I'm waving at you. Wow. I wanted to share today about my experience with great gratitude. We've all had a concept of gratitude, and we've all been told to be grateful. Has anyone ever been told to be grateful when you weren't? Yeah? You should be grateful. It's that should word in there that is not real helpful. You should be grateful because whatever the next sentence is. Now, I would like to share with you a question. What comes first? It's not the chicken or the egg or whatever. This is a question about what comes first, the intention or the gratitude. So I'm going to ask you to raise your hand if you think it's intention. What comes first? Intention. Okay. Who thinks gratitude comes first? Oh, guess what? They're the same thing. Because the only way an intention becomes reality is when we give thanks in advance. When we are grateful in advance. Now, I don't know about you, but I really didn't understand that at a certain age in my life. I never was told that I also needed, with my intention, a level of gratitude that it was already manifesting. It's already happening. The energy is swishing. We could call it many different things. And it's invisible and we can't see it. Some people call that magic. I call it God. I call it guidance. I call it wisdom. I call it many different things. When we have an intention, we are clear. Now, some of us are wishy-washy. Would you admit to that? I really want, and then next week, well, that wasn't it. And then the next week, and then we come back and we're frustrated because none of it happened. Well, that's called clarity. We have to have clarity. We have to have a spiritual intention. We're not talking about new shoes. We're not talking about clarity. We're talking about the big picture. I have clarity for the big picture in my life. And with that clarity, I give thanks in advance for the manifestation of this intention. Have you been taught this? Many of us have. Oh, okay, good. Many of us have. What I believe, I see. And what I see, I manifest. Now, I may not physically see it. I see it with my inner vision. I know it with my inner heart. I accept it before it has happened. Think about that. I accept it before it has happened in the physical form. That's called faith. Oh, that's called faith. Remember that? That's called faith. Because I wouldn't have the clarity of this intention and the heartfelt gratitude if I didn't have a sense of guidance that this is for my higher good. Now, we're not talking about a new dishwasher. We're not talking about the smaller things in life. We're talking about the big things in life. Whatever is big to you is different, though. For some people, having a car is the big piece. For another person, it's finding a partner. Another person, it's a degree. For someone else, it's travel to places you've always wanted to go, being near your grandchildren. It's different for all of us. The clarity is what's important. It's not fuzzy. Anyone ever been fuzzy? I really want this, God. And then I change it the next week and the next week. And then I'm frustrated because it didn't happen. Okay. So that's a period. We can go beyond that now. I have a scratchy throat, so thank you for understanding. The level of guidance, the clarity of the desire, and the ability to see with a vision, spiritual vision, and be grateful is like a circle. It's a circle of energy. It's not a straight line. I want to go from A to Z, and I want to get what I want. It's not like that. It's a circle. It's a circle. Circle of energy. Instead of making a to-do list, maybe you could make a gratitude list. We draw more to ourselves when we are in a grateful consciousness than when we are in a wanting consciousness. There's a story about a man who went to a Zen master. And he went to the Zen master and he said, "How do I get to enlightenment?" And the Zen master was quiet for at least 5 minutes, just quiet. Finally, he said, "Can you hear the mountain river bubbling?" And the man said, "Yes, I can." He said, "Go there." So he traveled up the mountain. He saw the river bubbling. And he came back and he said to the Zen master, "What would you have said if I said, no, I couldn't hear the mountain stream bubbling?" He said, "I would tell you, you can be enlightened right here. Start where you are." Many of us are putting off the vision, the desire, the willingness for the intention and the manifestation and the great gratitude. We just wait. I'll just wait. I'll do it when I'm older, or I'll do it when I'm retired, or I'll do it when so-and-so happens, or we put it off. Anyone? I got a nod over here. I got a nod over here. Maybe over here. I'm just on hold. I'm just on hold. Few of us are on hold. And why are we waiting for the universal energy that is moving through us and around us, ready to comply with our desires? Why? 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 It's a question. It's just a question. John Keating, a wonderful poet and priest, wrote that we can start where we are, just like the little Zen story. Start where you are. He says that people are in a boat. Here we are, back to the water. People are in a boat and in the water, paying attention to taking care of the boat. And the water is our spiritual experience on planet Earth. So we're taking care of our bodies, our houses, our lives, paying the bills. That's where our focus is. Our focus is the water. Could our focus be the water moving? Could our focus be how I am spiritually on planet Earth? And one of the best places to start is being grateful. Am I grateful? What am I grateful for today? Anyone, what are you grateful for today? Just put your hand in your heart if you're willing to answer. Just one, with just three words, or maybe a sentence. Anyone that's willing to say what you're grateful for today?
All that God provides me.
Good. Okay, I'm going to point to you so we know you're next.
Good friends.
Okay.
Celebration.
Okay.
Garth gave me instructions. Repeat, please. So say it again and I'll repeat it.
Good friends.
Good friends. And there was one more over here.
Kay.
Kay, his wife. Wonderful.
My family.
Family.
My life.
My life.
My home.
My home.
Opportunity.
Opportunity. Trish.
My grandkids.
Your grandkids. We're grateful for your grandkids too. So gratitude is a feeling. Gratitude is a feeling. And I invite you to focus on gratitude and less on not enough. Gratitude says, I have enough. I have friends. I have family. I have love. I have food in the fridge. I have a car that drives. I remember when that was so important in my life. And how do we do it? I make a list mentally every night when I go to bed, what I'm grateful for. 5 things every night. Most of the time, it includes my husband. Most of the time. Well, I had to tell the truth. Maybe what I ate that night. Maybe a telephone call I got. Maybe that my daughter called me and I wasn't expecting it. Maybe it's talking to my grandson, my pup that I adore, who's 11 years old and still wiggles his tail and as spry as can be. Maybe it's a story I read. Maybe it's being here. A lot of Sundays, it's being here with you. You are my joy. I am grateful for you. How did this occur in my life? This circle of energy. It was a manifestation of universal energy. So, we think about Unity of Salem. Unity of Salem is an amazing manifester of energy. Just think of the people that manifested, including our beloved Susan Thomas, Unity of Salem. Think of the grounds. Think of the people who paid for this property. Think of the people that bought 150 chairs, more than we need, but we have 150 chairs. They were thinking big. Just think of the sound system, what you went through, all the video through COVID, and that you survived. There was an energy of intention and gratitude. Intention and gratitude, all together. All together. When we come together in community and have gratitude, that magnifies it, that builds on the energy. We like to think of spokes on a wheel. You think of a wheel and spokes, and every spoke is different. Everyone has its own little knots in the wood or whatever. And this community is a wheel. Spokes on the wheel. Each individual, each comes here from so many different backgrounds, from different religions, from different places in the country, different methods of thinking, different schooling, different opportunities. And yet together, we come together in the hub, right? And that's what makes the wheel move. What makes this wheel move is you. Yes? Yes. What makes this wheel, this community move is you. However, we have to recognize our power. We can't just go, oh yeah, well, I'll show up, I'll put my money in, I'll take a class, I'll do. It is a power. Now we have to move that wheel. I'm not going off the stage. We have to move that wheel. Stop me. Stop me, please. And how do we move the wheel? Well, in the last year since I've been here, there weren't any people sitting over there. Yeah, and we're going to need some more chairs. Applaud for that woman, please. So more chairs. So that feeling of moving, when I first came here, we were talking about it, having coffee in the before the service started. The energy was low. Now we're moving that energy. Who moves that energy? You. You do. You. And I get to dance with you. And we move and we find new ways of being and thinking and seeing the possibilities of Unity of Salem. There is a time in every community's life, a season, where it is a choice. Do we move? Do we continue? Or do we stay in the same place? Same ideas, same thoughts. And every community has a choice. And actually it happens over and over, many years, every 10 years, every 20 years, whatever. And that happens to us personally too, doesn't it? We get the opportunity to say, is this it? Is it time to read a new book? Is it time to make new friends? Is it time to travel? Is it time to deepen my spiritual life? And we say yes, yes. So as we grow, we find new energy. Now, when I first came here, you couldn't walk in the sun porch. We're having our buffet in the sun porch today. I'm just saying. The bookstore was in the building next door, and Jan would tell me nobody comes to the bookstore. I said, well, could you? She said, I have treats, I have balloons, I have everything. Nobody comes to. So we moved the bookstore. So then there was room for the new office. So then the office moved. So move, new energy, move, new energy. And what is continuing to happen? To rent the modular, hopefully to another nonprofit who's looking for offices, or healing professionals. So we're continuing to grow and move. It's so important that we don't stop, that we don't think of ourselves as done. Would you agree? So that opportunity to take the energy of an intention, to be grateful in advance, to hold the vision, to take action. Now, many times that's where we stop. We don't take the action. And to have faith that it will manifest. Paul told me last week, you should tell them, he didn't, I don't know, he said should. You could tell them the story about Jennifer James. Now, Jennifer James is a well-known author in Seattle. She's a PhD psychologist, writes for the Seattle Times, very well known in Seattle. This was many years ago, 25, 30 years ago. I was living in Bremerton, Washington. I was the minister at Unity of Bremerton, and I had read some of her columns, and I just thought, this woman is so Unity. And I wanted to invite her to Unity of Bremerton to speak. Now, that community had never done anything like that. I made connections with her through the newspaper. She agreed to come. We had over 400 people. That church had never had that many people before, and it was an aha. They kept looking at me, how did you do that? I said, I didn't do it. I got the inspiration to do it. I acted on the inspiration. I made a call. That was it. She said yes, she came. We sent out notices to the newspaper, and people came. That was it. It was a circle. Okay, so then I'm starting a new ministry in Lake Oswego, Oregon. 3 people are coming. Just saying. I still had a little round table and a candle and a little circle of chairs, just in case. Then 4 came, then 5, then we were about 10 people. And by now it's about 7 or 8 months later. We're still 4 people. I had an article in the newspaper, 2 more people came, 3 more people, and then someone had kids. We had 3 kids in the hall. Or they'd run in the bathroom. Oh, we got into so much trouble. Here we were in this beautiful theater, and we kept going every Sunday, every Sunday. One day I woke up thinking I should bring Jennifer James to Lake Oswego, to Unity. And my other side of my mind said, we have 10 people. Jennifer James is not coming for 10 people, Victoria. So what did Victoria do? She made a call. She called the newspaper. They contacted Jennifer James. She remembered me and coming to Bremerton Unity and said, I would love to come. What is her fee? Well, this was 1990, $2,000. I no more had $2,000 than I had $400 because I had done a retreat for women at Unity of Portland. Okay. I said, great. We picked a date, and here we go. Now, I had a friend, thank God, more than one, who owned a gallery, and she had just gotten a bulk mailing permit. So I knew if I could get a postcard together or something, I could mail something, but of course I had no one to mail it to. Now there was a metaphysical bookstore called Styles in Portland. I don't know if any of you knew about it. And they had 1,000-person mailing list. I called them up and said, can I purchase your mailing list? I've never done anything like this in my life. For one time only. And they said, yes. It'll be $200. There went half of my $400. Thank you very much. So now I have a permit to mail it. I have names to mail it to, and I don't have a postcard. Well, someone knew someone who knew someone, and we made a postcard, sent it out. And I had put my number and the theater's number on there. And I started getting phone calls and phone calls. And they started getting phone calls and phone calls. Finally, the night arrives. Paul and I go to pick her up at the airport. And we're driving to the theater, and Paul turns to her and says, did you know she only had 10 people coming when she called you? And Jennifer James just looked at me like, we were sold out. We were sold out. And that was the beginning money that helped what was Unity Fellowship become the Unity Center. Now, that was on guidance. It did seem crazy, I will admit. It did seem out of the box. And look at how the universe brought me all the things I needed. I had no idea. I'd never even knew you could buy mailing lists. I had no idea you needed a bulk permit to mail out 1,000. I got people, volunteers from my 10 little people came and put stickers on. We had to turn people away. Woo-hoo! And that was the beginning. Now, I have to tell you, there were not 200 people there the next Sunday. I'm just saying. But there were 20, and then there were 30, and then there were 40. Christmas Eve, we had a big crowd. It just kept going. And then sometimes I would make a step out, and I've done this over and over in ministry, by guidance, not by a bright idea. It's very, very different. And you know the difference. You know the difference. So let's just think about, what is it that I am ready to manifest? What is it you are ready to manifest? What is it this ministry is ready to manifest? To listen for the guidance and be willing to give thanks in advance. Woohoo! Not hand on hip and I'll believe it when I see it. It's already done. It's already done. So we're going to have some meditation. Angela's going to come and so my question that I'm going to ask you to take into meditation today, what are you grateful for? What am I grateful for today? What inspires me? And open your heart to guidance. It comes to us in different ways. A feeling, a thought, a picture, an idea. We come to a place of clarity, at least a beginning of clarity. And we see that that which I am grateful for can lead to the next manifestation. Something large or small, whatever you desire. And then we think of our spiritual community. Each spoke of the wheel. That's who you are. And you bring your energy, your love, your wisdom, your knowing, your past experiences, and we bring that all together and we see a new door, a new way. We set an intention and we give thanks in advance, personally and for our community. We take a few moments in the quiet silence. We are quiet. We listen. And so it is. Hand on your heart. I am. I am guided. I am blessed. And I am grateful. Let's say it together. I am guided. I am blessed. And I am grateful. And so it is. And so it is.